Have you ever stood in an empty playground and listened, not to the sounds that are there, but to the ones that aren't? The laughter of children, the squeak of swings, the shouts of a game of tag. A silence is growing around the world, a quiet space where the next generation was supposed to be. This isn't a dystopian movie script. This is our reality. We are living through the greatest demographic collapse in human history, and most of us haven't even noticed. For centuries, the human story has been one of growth. More people, more cities, more ideas, but something has broken. All over the world, from the gleaming towers of Seoul to the quiet towns of Italy, birth rates are in freefall. Japan's population is shrinking so fast, they sell more adult diapers than baby diapers. In South Korea, the average woman is expected to have 0.7 children, a number so low it's called a demographic black hole. Even powerhouse nations like China and the United States are falling far below the replacement rate of 2.1 children needed to keep a population stable. Why? The easy answer is money. The dream of a stable job, a home, and a secure future feels more like a fantasy for millions. Housing costs are astronomical. Student debt is a crushing weight. The cost of raising a single child to adulthood can feel like an insurmountable mountain. We've rebuilt a world where the basic act of creating a family has become a luxury item. Young people look at the economic ladder and see that the rungs are broken. They are working harder than their parents ever did, just to stay in the same place. Where is there room for a child in that equation? But this goes deeper than economics. It's a crisis of hope. Look around. Climate change, political instability, social division. We're bombarded with a constant stream of anxiety. For many, bringing a child into this world feels less like a gift and more like an act of cruelty. A new philosophy is even taking hold, antinatalism. It argues that procreation is morally wrong, that it is better not to be born at all than to face a life of potential suffering. It's a bleak conclusion, but one that resonates in an age of uncertainty. We've lost faith in the future, so we've stopped creating it. Governments are panicking. They see the numbers. They see the aging populations, the shrinking workforces, the looming economic winter. They're throwing money at the problem. Baby bonuses, subsidized childcare, tax breaks. Hungary has offered to pay off student loans for women who have enough children. Singapore built extravagant dating parks. But none of it is working. You can't bribe people into having hope. You can't incentivize a feeling of meaning. This isn't a mechanical problem with a simple fix. It's a spiritual one. So what happens next? Where does this road lead? There are three possible futures unfolding before us. First, the slow fade. This is the path we are currently on. A gradual, grinding decline. Nations get older, poorer, and less dynamic. The vibrancy of youth is replaced by the quiet hum of retirement homes. Innovation stagnates. Culture crystallizes. We become a planet of museums, curating the glories of a past we can no longer replicate. A long, slow, comfortable slide into a Second, the bifurcation society splits in two. On one side, a secular, urban, and highly educated population continues to have very few children, if any at all. On the other, more religious or traditional communities, who hold procreation as a central value, continue to have large families. Over generations, the demographic balance of power shifts dramatically. The world of our grandchildren could be shaped by values and beliefs very different from our own. A profound cultural and ideological transformation, born from the quietest of choices. And third, the technological solution. Perhaps biology is becoming obsolete. We could turn to artificial wombs, genetic engineering, or even artificial intelligence to continue our legacy. Humanity could decouple itself from the messences of procreation and family. We could design our successors, but would they still be human, or would we, in our quest to survive, engineer our own replacement, creating a new form of life that carries our intelligence, but not our soul? Is this extinction, or is it evolution? Perhaps humanity is not meant to fill every corner of the earth. Perhaps this great quiet is a necessary correction, a planetary fever breaking, or perhaps we stand at the edge of a great emptiness, a void of our own making. For millennia, the meaning of life was simple: to live, to love, to create the next generation, and to find your slice of eternity in the eyes of your children. We traded that ancient certainty for personal freedom, for career, for self-discovery. But in our quest to find ourselves, have we lost the one thing that truly connects us to the future? This isn't a story about statistics. It's a story about what it means to be human. It's about hope, and what happens when it runs dry. It's about the silence in the playground, a silence that asks us a terrifyingly simple question. What is it all for? What do we do after the last child is gone?